Okay, so everybody, this is the webinar that we're doing on the Thrives. This is for Nail Accountancy Services, and it's the vision, purpose, and values. And for me, this is sort of a very sort of important one because it's the one that we want to sort of see most of all. In any business, because it actually shows the values and everything of what is actually happening. So I always start with thoughts of the day. So with this one, it's Culture Eats Strategy for Breakfast by Peter Drucker. So that's Culture Eats Strategy for Breakfast, Peter Drucker. And the big thing there is no matter how great your strategy is, if you don't have the right culture in your workplace, you simply won't get the right results. And today's webinar is all about the three most sort of influential drivers of positive culture, which is your vision, your purpose, and core values. So we'll go into that more. So just a quick hello. For me, I am, and just going through that agenda now. So just go back one. Have I gone back to one? Well, there's a big jump there, but the agenda for today, so just with me, who I am, it's I'm Nikolai Naylor. I've got Naylor Accountancy Services, I've got Intelligent Outsourcing, I have written the book, The Firm You Want, and this is just part of what we do within Naylor and Intelligent Outsourcing, is doing webinars to help educate and give information on to business owners, just to see if we can help them grow and thrive their businesses. So the agenda for today is to it's the cornerstone of culture. So we're going to be looking at the cornerstones of culture. We're going to look at your vision, so the vision that any company will have. And then it's going to be the purpose. We're going to look at the purpose and how you sort of can look to create that. Then it's the importance of core values. So we have core values in both Naylor Accountancy Services, which is I care, and in Intelligent Outsourcing, I charge. And I'll talk a little bit into those as well as other people's as well. And then bringing the culture to life. We'll talk about that, and then your next steps, and then Q&As at the end. So the cornerstone. So why is the workplace culture so important? Studies have basically shown that businesses with great culture and able to engage their team outperform those without. So your vision, your and your purpose and values are like the three elements of the culture. And when you spend time sort of developing these and sharing them with your team, and sort of ensuring you and your team truly sort of believe them. So you need to get people buying into them and make sure they're authentic, because you need to believe in them and you need to also live them yourself. But we'll talk into that as well. But the idea is that you want your team to believe in them and also live them as well, because if they don't, then you're not going to get the culture that you want, and you won't get the way forward that you want. So it is the cornerstone, and it sort of filters all decision making. So everything we say in both businesses, Naylor Accountancy Services and Intelligent Outsourcing, we say if you make a decision using our core values, especially, then we will back you up. Even if you get the wrong results or something went wrong, we will always back you up. If you go outside of the core values and everything that we do in the purpose and vision, then we would have an issue, and that would be sort of obviously a HR problem. And you can put together what we do is a culture card, and that's helped to support your team's buy-in. So vision. So first cornerstone of culture is your vision. So, and by valuing that, there's so many people working around that and effective around the world, and enlisting the hearts and minds of your organization in a shared vision and future differentiates basically leaders from non-leaders. So as a leader, you need followers. As a leader, those followers need to be following your values, your core values, your purpose, and your vision. You also want your leaders that you've got within your organization to help you create that vision purpose and core values, and then we look at them, or you want to be looking at them all the time, just to make sure everybody's in agreement with them within the leadership team. If it's agreed in with the leadership, it filters down, and there's ways of filtering it down, but you need to make sure your leadership team, if you've got one, or if it's just you are totally on board with them all, and then pull it down. So without sort of effective strategic vision, people sort of struggle with meaningful context for their goals, strategies, and implementation plans. And I had this because I didn't really know what my vision was. I wasn't motivated by money. It was only when I realized what my motivation was, even though it was always there, that I could then push things forward within both businesses. Because before that, money wasn't my orientation at all, and it still isn't. It's basically the outcome and what we actually can do. So here we have your core, your vision, basically. So Jim Collins, sort of a celebrated author and speaker, and he's also a consultant. So he said that there's core to our ideology, and that is like, and also your envisioned future. So if you break this down, then you've got core ideology, that's core purpose and core values. So core purpose and core values, and it's sort of basically the enduring character of your business, and consists of basically an identity, and transcends sort of products and life cycles, management fads. It should be ongoing. So you've got your core values. So we have our core values, and they are there to sort of guide everybody, and also guiding our hiring and everything like that. Because if people don't agree with the core values, we don't want them. So we always send out the core values with everybody. And then you've got the envisioned future. Now that should be BHAG. So, and that's a 10 to 30 years. So that's a big, hairy, audacious goal. And that means you want to be thinking big, so that it can be bigger than it is now, obviously. And that means that you're looking to make things better to move along to that, 10 to 30 year big, hairy, audacious goal. So BHAG, because with that means you take the steps. So we always do a 10-year vision, then a 3-year plan, and a 1-year plan, because the 1-year plan you normally overestimate what you can do, but the 10-year plan you always underestimate. So we just chunk it down, and it gives us the vision to make sure that we're going forward. And we just did a leadership meeting yesterday with intelligent outsourcing leaders, and we just always check that we agree with our vision for 10 years, 3 years, and the 1 year. We're all on track, and that we're sort of moving forward. We may not be on track with everything in the 1 year, but as long as we're still looking at the 10-year one there, and also that we agree the core values and purpose of our business. And we do that in Naylor Accountancy Services as well. We're going to be doing that on the 1st of August. So that's that leadership meeting for Naylor Accountancy Service. So with that, vivid descriptions are essential. So with all this, you need to create a picture. So the idea is like number of officers, if you're doing that, number of clients, what you might be doing if it's personal as well. So you don't have to be growing. You might just be wanting to have a certain lifestyle. So, and so you have that in there, maybe, in 20 years time, you want to be retired and have a decent pension or something like that, or you've sold your business and everything like that as well. So it could be anything like that, but you need to create your 10-year vision for your business and yourself as well, because they are going in tandem as a business owner. So, and Jim Collins, like I said, he did the envisioned future, and that's has to be something that's exciting in its own right, because if it's not, then you're not going to keep the organization motivated and buying in. And it has to be something that can carry on and transcend generations, theoretically years. It's not going to need to change. So it doesn't. So that's your whole vision going forward. Each part is essential for success, and so without progression towards the desired future state, your purpose and your values become sort of meaningless. So you need to have your core purpose and values, but you need that path, that map where you're going to. So if you're going to London, you're going to London, but you've got all those purposes and values on the way as well. Vision statement. So your vision statement. So there are some important guidelines here, which sort of I've got from the Change Factory, but to get a clear vision. So what they say is write in present tense, and I've got some examples going forward of some vision statements that we'll go through, and you can sort of see the present tense. Summarize your vision in a powerful phrase, and it should be powerful enough so people remember, and they actually evokes emotion within it as well. Describe the best outcome. So that can be achieved basically. So just the best outcome that can be achieved from your vision, and just use ambiguous language, which is easy to understand, because that's the big thing. And like I've said already, it has to evoke some emotion, and it should be sort of obviously and unashamedly passionate. So it should be passionate. And it must build the same picture in other people's minds. I mean, that's always not easy, but it needs to build a picture that is similar to what you are wanting. So that is one thing that we want to be doing with everything that we're looking at. So I'm going to talk about ours, but here are some vision statements that are very powerful, and all brands that you know. So the first one is Tesla's. So create the most compelling car company of the 21st century by driving the world's transition to electric vehicles. So that's quite a bold statement, and it's, you know, driving the world's transition to electric vehicles, which is done anyway, or they have done, and they are moving everything that way in the whole world. And then you've got Microsoft's here. So help people and businesses throughout the world realize their full potential. So that's Microsoft's. That's very powerful, because it's you know, looking at invoking emotion, worlds realize their full potential. Now, I do love Office 365 because we use it in both businesses, and they keep building amazing things like on it. But you can see what they're doing, and you can see where they're going on this statement here. LinkedIn. So LinkedIn vision is to create economic opportunity for every member in the global workforce. So that is happening, and you can see what that means, and it actually is got a passion. So economic opportunity for every member in the global workforce, and we've seen that happening, especially since COVID. It's happened even more so, where the globalization is just bringing everyone closer and closer together, and LinkedIn is helping in that. Here I've got Naylor Accountancy Services. So with that one, we say we're helping businesses thrive with services that enable business owners to live the life they desire. So the emotion is live the life they desire and thrive. So we're looking at services that help businesses thrive. So that's our vision statement. We have core purpose as well, which is basically something we'll talk about in a minute. IKEA, to create everyday life for the many people. And you can see that for the many people, it doesn't make sense, but for many people. But with that is just making sure that they're building things, and you can sort of see that. And I love Disney's. So Disney's is to make people happy. And they've done that for generations, and they're still doing it. So, and there are other ones as well that we're not going to be covering now, but because we don't have time. Purpose. So the second cornerstone of culture is purpose, and your purpose is why your business exists for your customers. So summarize this. You want to summarize it potentially in 7 words or less. Loads of people have it longer, like big companies, so don't worry about it if it's more. Ours is slightly more, or simply put your why. So it's the purpose is your why. Why are you doing things? And of course, your business exists to make profit, but it's not your purpose. So money isn't the profit, isn't the purpose. That's just an end result. Your purpose is something else. So your purpose is your reason for being. So not a goal for business or strategy. It's extremely important, just because of, and you know, and Simon Sinek's amazing on this. So he has the book. Was it Start with the Why? So that book is well worth reading if you haven't, or getting an audio. You can go on YouTube. There's lots of summaries of it, and Simon Sinek talking about why, a TED talk on it as well, talking start with the why. But what Simon Sinek says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So they buy why you do it, not what you do. And that leads us basically to the golden circle. The golden circle is something that basically was created by Simon Sinek, and he introduced it in his TED talk years ago. So that is on a TED talk, and also it'll be on YouTube or anything like that, and it's in his book. So most businesses first describe what they do, basically. So that's what they normally do, and then followed by that, they basically look about the high. So they often sort of fail to talk about the business, why the business exists, but they do the how. So the what the consistency of what they do and the discipline of how they do it. But the big one is the why. So the clarity on the why is something that a lot of people struggle with. And if you do get the book, I think in there it does help you look to get to your why, but it's important to communicate from the inside out. So that's why you do the why out. So it's building sort of the emotion and connection with your customers and clients, because that's the why you do it. So if you're wanting to help people, what you're wanting to do, what is it you wanted to create for them, what is it that you wanted to give to the world, basically. And it should be, I mean, I've said all this, 5 to 7 words defining why you exist, for your customers. Now, people are 15 words long as well, so don't go to, you don't have to be 5 to 7, but 5 to 7 is ideally what you want. So for us, for Nail Accountancy Services, it is your partner. We want to, your partner in finance helping businesses thrive. So your partner in finance helping businesses thrive, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 words. So your partner in finance, which we've always said we are, that's always been our strap line since I started, and then helping businesses thrive. So that's something I've added later because I've realized that's what we're wanting to do. That's what I'm wanting to do in Nail Accountancy Services, help businesses thrive through the services that we offer. And then the training of our team. And that's why we're doing these webinars. It's to help businesses. So this is something that you wouldn't normally get from any other accountancy firm, because we're looking at the core of your business and what you do and what existence you have within that business and why you have that. So basically, we need it so that guys can contact us, so about anything. So that's how we do it. So financial relating and help guide them. So that's why we say that we're your partner in finance in Nail Accountancy Services, so they can come to us and email us or whatever, and we get back to them and we help them on their journey. There may be other services that they need on the way to help them, but we'll be able to help everybody. And the idea is that we can help within Nail Accountancy Services the 3 freedoms, which is time, finance, and mind. So the mind is not worrying, because we take the pressure off from HMRC Companies House and anything else. Finance, obviously, because we know what the finances are, how they work within the business, like your profit. So that's why we've gone into profit first. So we offer profit first now as well to people, which makes people, businesses owners, able to think about their profit before they actually just go in and do all the business. They need to think of what they want from the business, what do we need to try and set aside. And then with time factors, so we offer like services that take time away from the business owner to focus on the business itself, like bookkeeping, management accounts, and things like that, and help on that. So, and credit control. But that's how we look at it from Nail Accountancy. So with this, when our team live into the purpose, and we provide even, so we actually do provide better service and success for our clients in Naylor and anybody. So you would with your customers as well. So when you're articulating your purpose, you can also talk about how your unique selling points and brands promise. So you can talk about that as well. So, and then there's also understanding of why, why before your how. So understand that before, like we've just said. And customers when they sort of understand your why and how, you can then discuss what the products and services are that you offer to achieve your results. So that's the last thing you'll be doing. So you understand why, how you do it, and then you can offer the services. If that makes sense, which is the process as well. So that and the results. So you've got the purpose, the process, and the results here. We have got a template for this if you want it. So if you want the golden circle, just let me know. You can actually drop it in here or drop me a DM, direct message on LinkedIn, and we'll get it to you, or email Stephanie or whoever it is that you've been in contact with in Nail Account Services. So people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And I've mentioned that at the start. That's what Simon Sinek says. 5 characters of a great purpose basically, this is from Jim Collins. So it must be inspiring to your whole team, and everyone in your team should know it, and actually live and breathe it. So that's the first thing. It should be inspiring to them, and they believe it. Your leadership team need to believe it. They need to be help generating it and confirming it every time you have a leadership meeting. If you have a leadership team, you need to keep looking at it. Then you want to be, if it's just you, and then just talking to your team if you've got a team, and then asking them, do you agree these as well? So make sure they do. And if they've got any feedback, take that on board. We did change one of our core values. This is the purpose, obviously, just because we didn't change it. We were going to make it less, but they didn't want to lose one of them that we already had. So we left it in. And it must be valid for, now and also 100 years on. So it can't be something that is just now. For now, it needs to be looking forward. So it's broad enough to sort of basically capture what you do, and your products and services going forward for the future, because you want it to have a longevity. And then also you want to be looking at how you consider what you can do to help people. So what your products and services could you offer, which will help you live your purpose while staying relevant to your customers that you want, basically. So you want to stay relevant, but you need to be looking at services that can offer that through your purpose. And it should also help you decide what not to do. So if you know what your purpose is, then there are things outside of that you know not to do. So you can actually discount those, which makes it easier for you to do it. And then it has to be authentic. And this is there's no point creating a core purpose that you don't believe in, because if you don't believe in it, no one else is. As a leader, you need to get followers. And the only way you can do that, and that the followers, is because you need people to do what you do when you're not there, because you can't be everywhere. And also you need to delegate and trust other people to get on with work. If you're smaller, you still need to do that, because you need them to get on and do whatever it is you need to do. If you've got a bigger team, you definitely need that, and you need the leaders to be on board as well. So be authentic to your business, because you can't copy somebody else's purpose. You can take note of other people's purpose, but and then work on that, but you can't copy it. So here just are examples of some very simple purposes and Tesla's. So this is purpose, not the vision statement: to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy, which is what they're doing. Netflix to entertain the world. I mean, they definitely did that during COVID. And Zoom to make video communication frictionless and secure. They have done that. Today it didn't work for me that well, but that could be me as well. But for some reason it just wasn't working. So that's why we were delayed in this webinar. But they are definitely doing that. And under COVID, Zoom was a lifeline to most people, for business especially. So, and you can sort of basically see that these would be inspiring to their team and also valid for over 100 years. So, so you'd be looking at that and you can keep going. There's longevity here. So I've already mentioned our purpose is in Naylor Accountancy, is being your partner in finance, helping businesses thrive. So that's what I've already mentioned. So your partner in finance, helping businesses thrive. So we've tried to make it shorter. It's shorter than our vision statement. But doing our Thrive webinars, which is what we do now, is all part of giving businesses owners tips on how they can improve their businesses to make them thrive. So that's basically how we do that. I mean, there are other ones here. So I'll just give you another one here. Starbucks, it says here, to inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. So again, that's more than 5-7 words, but that's Starbucks. So they definitely had one. And then LinkedIn is to connect the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. It's different to the vision statement. Again, it's more than 5-7 words. So you can definitely do that. And then lastly, I'll just do this one, Facebook, to give people the power to build community and bring the world closer together. That's Facebook. Again, more than 5 or 7 words. That's the purpose statement. So you can see, yes, it is desired to have a shorter one so you can remember it, and everyone else remembers it, but lots of big companies have it late. Or the last one here, this is a BBC. So to enrich people's lives with programs and services that inform, educate, and entertain. So that's the BBC. So that is definitely long, 5 words, but it says what it is. Core values. Now, the third cornerstone is core values. Now, this is the first thing that we did in my businesses years ago. I mean, this is years and years back. I don't know when, 2016, if not when we founded Intelligent Outsourcing. And I think that's only when I started bringing them into Naylor Accountancy Services. And that's through mastermind group that I was in, that or before that, I can't remember, but it was coming through that. So these are timeless and they're guiding principles, and that they speak to the heart of a whole business, and you need them all to believe it. We have it on the walls in the Philippines, actually painted on the walls. We had it on the walls in the Naylor Accountancy office, but we did change those, and we're now, so because we're hybrid, we don't actually have them on the walls now. But every Wednesday in our daily huddle, the two team members talk into one of the core values. They talk about it, and then they say how it's impacted them, or what they've seen another team member do or a client do in relation to that core value. We do that to live and breathe those core values. And when in intelligent outsourcing, we do core value shout outs to people, and have little prizes. I think that's once a month or something, I can't remember, but what that is offhand. But the team do that, so they make sure that people are aware of those core values, and we'll bring people up on the core values. So on HR, we've got something called people analysis, and they need to have a tick in all those core values. If they've not got a tick in one, they've got a cross, then we need to have a conversation with them. So the importance of core value, I've actually said a lot of this already, but it's decision-making filters. So it is a filter, so it helps decision-making. We say we'll always support anybody who does this, who has, who's made it through the core values. And it engages the team so they know what they need to be doing and what core values they should be observing in everything they do. And there's also sort of numerous studies in core values. It's a key driver for team engagement. And supposedly data also says it's less sick days, lower team turnover, less rework, better communications, high innovation, higher productivity, and higher profitability. Now that's just what they're saying. And conflict resolution is a big one. So the way we use it is, if there is we have conflict with anyone, as in we don't think they're following the core values or they're doing something outside of it, then we will actually have a conversation, like, they're not being shown integrity. So that's one of ours in both businesses. Or care, so care for the client, care for the team members, care for their work. That's one. And then we also have excellence, excellent, and respect. So if they're not respectful for somebody, that can be anybody within the business or outside of the business. And accountable, if they're not acting accountable to their business, to what they're doing, and they're blaming other people as well. So we would actually bring them up on that. So it's to guide the decide behavior, and it also gives you a resolution to anything, because you can bring it up with anyone if there is a discussion to be had. And it's the heart of your identity, basically. So which is what it always has been for us. So I care is the one for Naylor Accountancy Service. That's integrity, care, accountability, respect, and excellence. Now, we used to have a whole string of words explaining what all these were, but we stopped that because I found that I could not remember. We had 7, by the way. We moved it down to these 5, but I could never remember it. So we had to create an anagram, I care, in order to do it and create the words that fitted it, because nobody could remember all of 7 anyway. So there's pointless having it, and nobody could remember them all, or even just like that. Now everybody can remember them, which is amazing. I care, so it's easy, integrity, care, accountability, respect, excellence. And we know what all those mean. Everybody does. So some people will say you have to write a whole phrase out for each core value. You can do that. Make sure you remember it though. You need to somehow remember your core values, and other people need to remember it. You can have explanations of what they all are, but you need to have something that everyone can remember. That's my personal view. I know other people think they should just have a long sentence, but people do not remember it, and you won't remember it if there's too many as well. So that's the core values. So just to introduce the identity iceberg, so that this sort of demonstrates basically that then the impact of core values on the actions and behaviors that we see, basically. So you've got above the line, that's the action, so that's what you see, so that's the visible part. But then below the line, you've got the iceberg, which is the most of it. So that's where what we and our clients and also our team members see and experience. That's the actions, that's above the line, but immediately beneath it, that is the habits. So that's the habits that we have, and within that you have the beliefs and the way of thinking. So that's what we is driven by that. And as sort of we move down, you also have personal values that come into that. And if you move right to the bottom, it's identity. So this basically shows that that below the line there's a lot happening, and those core values are there just to help guide what's below the line, not just the actions above the line, which everybody sees. That's what you demonstrate, but you need to know what's inside, and you need to help guide people within your organization, your team members, to have those habits, way of thinking, their beliefs, and their personal values and identity. And identity is one identity, and the core purpose, core values, and your vision statement helps create that identity within your organization for you and the rest of your team, basically. And that comes to your brand. So it basically reflects your brand, and everything should be, you should see it all on the top, but the iceberg is the one, that's where it's all happening below. And it just influences the behavior and everything. So deriving your core values. So this is basically how, to need a clear definition to understand. So firstly, you need to clearly define them. So allocate uninterrupted time. That's key. You do need that time to think about it. You can do it in a group of your team. We can actually facilitate this as well, but it's something that you need to be doing, and you need to be, it's good to use an experienced facilitator. You can do it yourself, get some books. If you let me know, I can give you some things to look at to help you do this as well. And we can do this, obviously, with you. Brainstorming is key. So you must be brainstorming. So there's going to be lots of ideas, put it on a board, everything comes together, and then take out things and put them back as well. And then you're just reiterating it and going back and forth until you get to them. And this is what I say, we did have 7, and we do have iCharge for intelligent outsourcing, so we have fun and growth in there. We still want to do that within Naylor, but we just changed it. We did have the same core values because we changed it to I care instead of iCharge, because that was what the leadership team wanted in the 2023 annual strategic planning meeting. So we did change that, because it's leadership is you need everyone to be around you, and they need to be part of that decision making as well. It's not just all about what I want, it's what everyone else wants. And then you've got define it, core values in 10 words or less. So that's, you can just do one. I've just done one word, and we have done one word, so we remember it. You can define it though after that. So you've got one word and then define what it means afterwards, so that everybody's aware of what they are. But you must remember them. There's no point in having them, and just avoid. Make sure they're relevant to you as the owner, business owner, because if they're not, how the team going to know them. You're going to be authentic, like I said, and bring that on board. And just avoid hygiene values like being professional and things like that, because that's not really what you want. So, you need something that differentiates you, not just what everyone else is doing. So differentiates you. So other people will have these core values, because we all have key core values. If you've got a good business and you've got good values yourself, and that's avoid values. So the cornerstone is vision, purpose, core values, and you can pull all that together in what we call a culture card. Now, I haven't actually. This is something we need to do. That put this together, this webinar, and this is something we haven't got in nail or accountancy and intelligent outsourcing. Something I'm going to bring to the leadership meetings, because I think it's a really good thing to do this. So have a culture card. So it just brings alignment of the behavior and energy, and so it creates a workspace where everyone's comfortable and happy, so they know what it is. So if you have this culture card front of mind, so you basically have a card that you give all your team members and any new team member coming in. So each member would have that and they know it. So this is something that we need to create. And I've just realized this because it's something new for me. But you want to be able to have the vision, purpose, and values. And it's a bit like I do taekwondo and I'm a black belt, or fourth dan. But with that, you have a card, and it actually has the statements of core values and everything on there. So we have everything on there, and you just remember it from there. So it's within your wallet. So the idea is have that. We do have a template for this if you want. So just let me know in DM or message, and we can let you have this. So how do we bring your culture to life? Well, here's simple and effective ones. First, after finalizing your vision, purpose, and core values, then create the culture card, which is what we've just talked about, and then share that with your team. So that's your culture card template, is something that we have that we can offer to you if you want it, and you can just start there. And then ensure your team has committed all this to memory. So you can, it's a bit like the Boy Scouts honor sort of thing. You might want to check them out. When I'm in the Philippines, I ask people what their favorite core value is, and I may ask them other core values. Also ask them what our mission statement is and what our vision statement is. And so I do ask all these questions of them, and they do answer. Most of them answer correctly. Sometimes you get some people not quite sure, or they're not quite into it. We do a quarterly town hall, which is all part of the rhythm of the business, in my book, The Firm You Want. So that's what we do. So they should know it. So I always talk about that at the start of every town hall. And then, you need to walk the talk, and your team need to walk the talk. If you don't, then nothing is going to happen. And also promote it, website and marketing. So we do that in our website for nail accountancy service and intelligent outsourcing, and we also do SEO on it occasionally on both core values. So make sure it's displayed on the walls or anything like that, your core values. So I've just said that there, and just share examples of them in action, which is so share them in action. And that's what we do within nail accountancy services. And we also do with intelligent outsourcing, with shouting people out on what they're, and review them manually. So we do that. And we did change it from I charge to I care for nail accountancy services like a year and a half ago. For intelligent outsourcing, when we would creating the acronym I charge, just so we could remember. I didn't get the I in because we had honesty, and I just said take that out. You don't, because everybody should be there. But they had a big issue with it. Did the team in the Philippines? They wanted to have the I in there, the integrity, because I think that's a really core that has to be part of it. So we left the I in because I thought it was charge forward. And I charge, it just gives you that I charging forward. So it's like the growth and everything like that. And walk the talk. I mean, it is the cornerstone of conflict resolution and decision making, or even to praise the team members as well. So, and like I say, just make sure you do review it annually. Next step. So my aim is here to help take something, give you something to maybe take action for. So I'm hoping you've got at least one action from this. So the choice is to basically you can basically improve the culture in your business today by just putting a line in the sand and sort of taking the first positive step towards improving results. If you already have your vision, purpose, and core values, decide sort of whether or not you need to review them. So you should be reviewing this and with your team. If you don't have these in place, then you really need to be best ways to create them. And once you've developed them, then ensure they're visible and everybody knows them, and you living into them and your team's living into them. And it must be clear to them. So like the culture card's a great way to do it. Have them on the wall, your core values and everything. And you can also check people. You must commit. I mean, that's the big one. And take your team and customers on the journey. So that, and also sort of focus on what you can do. So never focus on what you can't do. It's out of your control. That's something that I learned a long time ago. Just focus on what you can do, because you can't do things that you are not in control of. You just can do everything around you. So you can control your vision, your purpose, and your core values. You can control that, and you can have input into that, obviously. Then what you need to do is disseminate it down to your team. Oh, and you can get help from us. So we do offer that as well. So help from us within Naylor Accountancy Services. So how can we help you? So business plan. If you haven't got a business plan, you should have a business plan. Every business should have one. We can definitely do that for you. It's fundamental framework. So we're improving your culture, for clarification of your vision, your purpose and values, right through to planning the goals, alignment of your team. And we can facilitate core value development. So that is something that we can do with you, which is what we've just talked about in briefly. In golden circle worksheet, let us know if you want that. We've got that. That's free. That's a golden Simon Sinek. So let us know, have that. And of course, and look at this book. Start with the why, because you must have a look at that or listen to it or something, even if it's just a summary of it. Or the TED Talk, Start with the Why by Simon Sinek on the internet. That's definitely worth looking at. Complimentary meeting within Naylor Accountancy Services, you can always have that as well. So that is out there, so you can talk to people about anything within the business, or this as well. Now it's questions, and I apologize for starting late on this. So if it's a recording, this is the recording. We did have technical issues, so the recording is there. So it's for all of you to review if you haven't been on this. Hopefully you're now listening to the recording. So if you have any questions, please do put them in there. You can put them in the chat, or just put them to me directly. You don't have to show them anyone. Got one here. How have you seen the vision statement has impacted your business? So it's impacted it quite in many ways, actually. So it's impacted in the way we're growing the business and what we focused on. So if you go to our website, Naylor Accountancy Services, you will see our Naylor Accountancy Way, which is like a pyramid. And at the bottom is, like just the compliance work, which is your year-end accounts, your VAT, bookkeeping, self-assessment, all the things you have to do to keep HMRC, Companies House, happy. Then you've got financial control stuff, which we call like bookkeeping, credit control, and all that. Then we've got FD stuff, which is the management accounts, business plans, anything in that sort of sphere, sort of helping with core values. And then you've got coaching at the top. So what we're looking at doing is, as your partner in finance and helping businesses thrive, it's moving people up that pyramid so that they have a better business and they've got more time freedom, more financial freedom, and more mind freedom. So that means, more time to do what people want to do, focus on, like if it's the business rather than the doing, they can work on the business. If it's actually more time with a family, hobbies or whatever, holidays, and then mind, sort of not worrying about HMRC Companies House or and things like that, or even their monies. Financial, obviously helping with knowing what corporation tax is, how we can get you from A to B using profit first, and the forecasting and business plan and everything like that. So that's how we've seen the vision driving services that we offer and how we help in businesses. And it's also these webinars. So that's how, one reason I do these webinars is to help businesses thrive. And that's what we call it, the Thrive Series 2024. So that's how we've seen it. Any other questions? So I've got another one here. How do you ensure that the core values are adhered to? You can't guarantee they're adhered to. All you can guarantee is that everybody believes them, or at least they say they believe them. And if they don't, if they fall outside those core values, then you or some other team member, it can be anybody, because we say anybody can pull anyone up if they do anything outside of a core value, including myself. So, you have to, by in nail accounts is, I care, so integrity, care, accountability, respect, and excellence, so excellent service. So if you're outside of that, anyone can pull you up. So that's how we look to do it, and then just reiterate them all the time, and you make sure people understand them and show how they live in them and other people live in them. How do you get people to remember the core values? I think I sort of answered that. So by we're going to be doing this culture card, because we've not done that. That's a good one. We have it on the walls. We do it every Wednesday in our daily huddle in Nello Accountancy Services. Two people say something about one core value. I speak to people about them. We do our town hall where we always reiterate them as well, and they're on there. Oh, sorry, going back one. I'll just see if there's any more questions. I know we are running late. So vision and purpose, what's the difference? So the vision is basically a 10-year thing, what plus, it's a 100-year, whatever, that's and the purpose is what you're doing and why you're doing it. So it's a bit more, you need to remember your purpose as well as your vision statement, but they all interact with each other. So it's a very good question, because the vision, if you go through this, you will sort of see the difference, is basically looking at forward, where we're going. The purpose is what you're doing and why you're doing it, but it's making it more succinct so everybody actually understands what it is. Your vision can be massively out there and very emotional in what you're doing and why. How have you used your core values in your business? So yeah, I've spoken about like the people analyzer. So if somebody is doing something wrong, we will go through the people analyzer just to see, with the core values, to do a tick. And if there's a cross in any of those, then that's an issue, and we need to have a conversation about it. And maybe, whatever, verbal warning, written warning, whatever, however many times that's gone, because they need to change. So you don't want anyone who's disrespectful to anyone, whoever that person is. You don't want that. So we don't in our businesses, both businesses. So we would have that conversation. So that's how we use it. We also have something called GWC, or get it, want it capacity. So, but we look at the core values first. So that's how we use the core values. And how do you get people to remember your core values? Now that's what I sort of mentioned before. We do the Wednesday, when everyone talks about the core values, two people say something about how it's impacted them, or what they've seen of their partners or clients, or team members do, to sort of verify what those core values are, and sort of show that we are living them and understand them. And then we have it on the walls. I ask questions, and we do it in our town hall. We always talking about it on a regular basis. So we need to constantly do it. You can never do it too often. How easy is it to come with your core values, your vision, and your purpose? Now, it's not easy, but the first thing you need, it can be easy because you probably got your core values already and your vision, your purpose. What you just need to is define them. That can be the difficult part. First of all, knowing that you need them, you're halfway there, so you're there now. Secondly, it is actually just making sure that you then have it written down, take that time out to do it. We can facilitate that. You can do it yourself with your team members or by yourself, but you need time away where you're not doing business and just focusing on that. Creating a picture of the future. How detailed should it be? Now, that should be very detailed. So we do a 10-year vision for both businesses, and that goes down to number of officers, number of people, revenue, turnover, things like ESG certified, which is environmental, social, and government certified. We've even got a reach out fund, so give back fund created. We've got like a B Corp. We want to be B Corp. That's actually within our 3-year one. But we know where we're going. We have a big picture, locations, everything. And for Naylor Accountancy, we grow by acquisitions as well as growth internally. So it's where we are there and the services that we offer as well. So really detailed, because you need to create a picture so you can see it and visualize it as well as everybody else in your business. And that's one reason why we've done the profit first, because we know what we want to do. So we've gone down that route, and I'm looking at other things now to bring in so we can actually help our businesses that work with us thrive, because there's a lot out there that we can do better and more, and we're constantly looking at how we can improve what we do and what we can offer to our partners and clients going forward. Can you send me a golden worksheet, your golden circle worksheet? Yes, no, sure, no problem there. No, the culture guard, yeah, that's another one we can send you. We need to be doing that, and I came up with that in the research that I did. So I'd definitely do that. Let's see if there's any more. Otherwise, probably going to be ending it. So the next one is what books do you recommend to help formulate my vision, etc.? So as I mentioned, one is Start with the Why by Simon Sinek. I think I took it to the Philippines and left it there because I don't have it on my shelf here. But then the other one, and I really recommend this as well, is Be Useful. The 7 Tools for Life, Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's like for both personal and business. It's brilliant. And if you listen to audio, it's Arnie actually talking, so I really recommend that. So it's a good read, really interesting as well about his life. But it's, he's had 4 different iterations of what he's done in his life, but it's a very interesting read or listen. So that's Be Useful by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, so if there are no more questions, there is one. How often should you reassess and update core values? So we do it I do it every quarter with our leadership team, just to make sure everyone's happy with them. Ideally, we don't want to be changing more than once a year, but I always just confirm with them. So yesterday we had our intelligent outsourcing leadership meeting, and I just confirmed that we still believed in the I charge as our core values and our vision and everything like that. So our vision statement in intelligent outsourcing is to do good for generations. And the reason for that is I want both businesses, Nader and IO, intelligent outsourcing, to stay there, to be around even after I'm dead, which sounds a bit crazy, but I want it to be there for a long time. And then someone else just take over the reins. It won't be my family, because I don't think anybody's interested in the business, but it'll be somebody internally, more than likely. But so the core values, that the update there is that what I'd say once a year, but you can do it more. You don't want to be doing it more often because you need to bring everyone into it. So we did change it, like I say, in Naylor Accountancy service from which was actually really really good. I actually thought I liked it just because the leadership team in Nail Accountancy took the initiative to do that, not me. So it was them, if that makes sense. How often should you reassess and update your? Oh, I've done that one. So I think so I've done that one. Cool. So thank you, everybody. If I think that we are going to be coming to an end then, but I always end with a parting thought. So the parting thought is leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. And that's Warren Bennis. So what I'd say is make a simple plan today, commit to at least 3 actions. I mean, hopefully you've got at least one, and you know that you can take from this webinar. This will be available on YouTube as well, so you can watch that. It probably won't be, well, it might be this week, it might be next week, but we'll be out there in our Naylor Accountancy YouTube channel. But just write down any of your actions, and then and look at a completion date on it. And remember, if you need any of our support, do reach out to Naylor Accountancy Services or me, and we can have a chat with you. So thank you for coming and making the time. And I apologize for it being late. It's been really good to have you on. And for those of you who are watching it on YouTube, I hope you enjoy it. If you've got any questions, just message me on DM on LinkedIn, because that's where I normally am. Right. Well, thank you and adieu. And I'll leave you with this short parting thought as well. The leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time. Take care. Bye.